Fox 10 investigates the darker side of dealing with the dead. Tonight on Fox 10 News at 9.
Can you hear me okay? Good morning, Madam Chair and Board. My name is Veronica Dennis. I have been employed by the MCMEO for over 11 years.
Can you talk into, can we turn the volume up? It seems to be lower than it usually is.
Thank you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I am the lead senior investigator, the investigative supervisor, and the lead autopsy technician. I'd like to address a few allegations that have been made against our office that I can attest to. We do test for COVID when warranted. We do test for any substance that may have contributed to a death, including alcohol, fentanyl, and any other illicit prescription and or over-the-counter medication that we may believe contributed to a death. The investigators are trained to utilize the public fiduciary's monthly funeral home rotation schedule. The vehicles provided to the investigators are not county vehicles. Each investigator has an assigned vehicle that stays at their home, as we are on call for 120 hours straight. We do not use these vehicles for personal use on our days off. However, while on call, we may run errands and bring a change of work clothes if we stray too far from home. Mr. Hassett has 2 investigators that carry registry certification through the American Board of Medical Legal Death Investigators in his employ. I am one, and I have been since 2016 and continue to attend yearly ABDMI advanced symposiums, and another that has been employed with MCMEO for just over 9 years. We currently have an investigator that was employed as a deputy coroner in Riverside County for roughly 13 to 14 years. And our other 2 investigators are in the process of getting their registry certification as well. With that said, it is not a requirement to have experience or certification to become an investigator. It is not a requirement to have experience or certification to become an investigator. It is not a requirement to have experience or certification to become an investigator. Most counties require that you get certification within a year.
If I die, I don't care where you drag my body, just make sure it's not in Mohave County.
It is not a requirement to have experience or certification to become an investigator. It is not a requirement to have experience or certification to become an investigator. It is not a requirement to have experience or certification to become an investigator.
I'm Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum. This Arizona businessman runs 5 funeral homes in Mohave County. Now he also runs the medical examiner's office. Is his job impacting the competition's bottom line? And is he using taxpayer money to expand his personal business? Here's a preview of our report you'll only see tonight at 9 on Fox 10 News. The board voted 4-1 to award a 3-year contract paying Serenity a little over $1 million annually.
We could all see that it was a conflict of interest.
He's not a licensed medical examiner.
If I die, I don't care where you drag my body, just make sure it's not in Mohave County.
Fox 10 investigates the darker side of dealing with the dead. Tonight on Fox 10 News at 9.
Dealing with the dead, a Fox 10 investigation that we brought you in 2022, and controversy between funeral homes and the medical examiner's office in Mohave County continue.
Authorities have concerns about the ethics and practices of the man who runs the ME's office there. Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum uncovers some new and disturbing allegations.
According to a Mohave County Sheriff's special investigator, some funeral homes have made serious allegations against the medical examiner's office, including documented misuse of equipment and personnel. Now, after 3 years, the Board of Supervisors has voted to cancel solicitation with the company running the ME's office, but there's still no long-term plan in place as a contract soon comes to an end. It's been 2 years since we introduced you to John Hassett, Director of Operations at the Mohave County Medical Examiner's Office. At the time, he was also the CEO of Serenity Memorial Group. That's important, and to some controversial, because in 2021, Mohave County awarded Hassett and his company a contract of $92,500 a month to run the ME's office. Local mortuaries had a problem with that because Serenity owned a handful of competing funeral homes, claiming it was a clear conflict of interest. In our first report, a former employee of Hassett who did not want to be identified shared her insight, including alleged chain of custody issues with dead bodies.
Sometimes there was calls and they would leave bodies at one of John's funeral homes. He'd call them substations. He would do that from anything from an overdose or suicide to homicide cases. They would sit in different coolers, not at the medical examiner's office, sometimes for a week.
Months after this report, Hassett sold Serenity Memorial, yet the county told Fox 10 he'd retain a role within the company and was still contracted to run the medical examiner's office. Then board supervisors heard more complaints from funeral homeowners who said they were left out of a scheduled rotation to take in decedents who don't have families to claim them or can't afford funeral services. They asked why the county's data did not line up with missing bodies.
Do the right thing and rectify this problem.
Now in August 2024, more calls for the county to find new leadership rather than keeping Hassett at the helm.
We have 3 licensed pathologists that fell in their lap, that asked last year, went to procurement, went to the county manager's office, let them know that they were interested in applying for a proposal, and they were ignored.
I came into this from a business standpoint.
Hassett is not a licensed pathologist, nor did he claim to be, but still took over the county's administrative duties while retaining the former medical examiner on as a pathologist for autopsies.
There's no backdoor deals, there's no hiding.
Back in February, MCSO Special Investigator Lori Miller interviewed owners of 4 affected mortuaries and former staff members of Hassett. One man who worked as a cremationist in 2021 described 120-degree heat in a crematory and coolers with human remains stacked on shelves, strapped by seatbelts, not far from body fluids on the floor. He also claimed to see a cage of dead dogs outside the building and quit after 2 weeks. Another former employee told MCSO he witnessed bodies crammed in the cooler, saying the ventilation in the room was so bad a coworker had to take breaks to breathe. Crematories are not Mohave County's responsibility, officials say. As for the current medical examiner's office, the delayed timeline of autopsies is another reported allegation.
I believe that our people aren't getting the autopsies done in a quick enough time now. It's my understanding they're only being done 1 day a week.
Regarding autopsies only being completed 1 day a week, you are accurate in that statement.
We've asked Mohave County's health department to address more of the allegations listed in MCSO's report. The department's director says allegations linked to missing bodies were investigated and unfounded by November 2022. Melissa Palmer also calls MCSO's 2024 investigation into the medical examiner's office inconclusive at this time. On Monday, the public reiterated concerns about an independent contractor in charge of the ME's office.
As I was upset about my daughter's not even getting an autopsy because she wasn't deemed as being suspicious, lying dead in 115-degree heat in the driveway of a friend's house by her car, where she had gone supposedly to get something, and no one questioned why she didn't come back for 4 hours.
Nobody has a problem like this. Not one county except for Mohave County.
John Hassett made his case before the board's vote on a potential 1 or 3 year contract renewal.
I've offered my time, my services, and everything to make sure that this becomes a county-run business.
Those motions failed. Instead, a majority choosing to cancel solicitation with Hassett after his contract's expiration on November 30th.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So what now?
The big question, will Mohave County pay the contractor month to month in December until an in-house medical examiner's office is established? The county declined to speak with us on camera, and so did John Hassett. Now, despite MCSO's reports of these allegations and complaints, the sheriff told the Board of Supervisors on Monday there isn't enough probable cause showing criminal activity. I'm Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum.